Hey everybody, Mark Walters here with BigFanboy.com, and I'm here with Timo and Tero. Is that how I say it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
But I'm going to let you guys say your last name. So Timo
Vuorensola.
And
Tero.
Kaukomaa.
There you go, from Finland. And first question I have to ask is, are you guys fans of the Eric Idle Finland song? Is that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
I won't make you sing a couple of bars of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, once you mention it, it's stuck in your head for the
Yeah,
next 2 weeks.
absolutely,
It's just
yeah,
Finland. Finland.
Well,
That's
there you go.
in the loop for the next 2 weeks.
I didn't
Thank
even
you.
have to ask you to sing
Yeah.
a couple of bars of it. You just went right into it. Now, Iron Sky, we actually featured this last week on the site because this was something that was one of our most anticipated, things. And we talked about you guys going to the Berlin Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I wanted to kind of start off with, what was that experience like, being at the Berlin Film Festival, opening it there, and more importantly, the after party? Like, I'm kind of curious how all that stuff went down. So start by talking about just kind of that whole experience of bringing it there.
Maybe you want to start because
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a dream come true. First of all, it has been not so easy production, and we did it quite a long time, like 6 years, struggling first to get it off the ground, and then finally got it off the ground, and we faced a lot of challenges, and then did overcome those, and then finally it's there, and sort of like, and the dream to open it in Berlin came true, which was actually also last minute sort of confirmation we got from the Berlin that we can open it there, and we just got the film completed 2 days before the premiere. And then the screening was huge cinema, 1,200 people, and the reception was awesome. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Now, where the concept for this whole thing, like, where did you guys kind of start? I know this has been in the works for a while, but like, where did the initial idea come for? I mean, Nazis on the Moon, that's such a great idea. It's kind of a throwback almost to like 1950s,
Yeah.
sci-fi cinema.
Yeah,
or
it's
pulp comic books.
pulp
Yeah.
comic books, and I think the first guy actually who ever wrote about Nazis on the Moon was he wrote a book called Rocket Ship Galileo, and he was who was that? Who was that?
Was it a
Very famous.
like a novel or a
Yeah,
comic?
it's a novel.
It's a novel.
I'm sorry, I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name.
We'll post a link underneath.
Anyway, that guy in 1946 or something like that, it was a story about kids creating their own space rocket, and then flying to the moon,
Right.
and then encountering Nazis over there. So it's been kind of going around in the popular culture sort of undertone quite a long, but it was never kind of realized in the film format. And a friend of mine, we were sitting in a sauna. We had just finished doing Star Wreck, my earlier film, and we were sitting in a sauna and thinking about what to do next. And he came up with this idea. He said that let's make a film about the Nazis on the dark side of the moon. And it was a fun joke on a sauna at that time. We were just what a good idea. But then we started to look into it and went to the internet and found out there's a lot of people out there that know about the Nazis on the moon. There's a lot of mythos. There's a lot of sort of semi-technological notes there. So we're able to kind of grasp all that. Like, okay, we have already quite a lot of stuff, so we can just start to build the story around that. And it
Yeah.
was
Well,
really-
there's still theories that there's like secret stuff on
Yeah.
the dark side of the moon and everything. Like, people actually believe that there is
They
stuff
do,
out there.
and
So
it's-
why not?
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind and so once we started to do it, I mean, first it sounded, the funny thing was once we started to kind of realize all the possibilities it has. It's not just about making fun. It's also really a visual world, but also you can tell a message in that world, and all these things are required in a good movie. So we thought that's just a good topic, good concept.
Now, stylistically, Iron Sky has a really great look to it because it kind of, like I said, it's very reminiscent of like classic pulp sort of science fiction, but at the same time, it does have I think, a really interesting sort of style to it. What were some of your influences in terms of like, maybe films or things that you wanted to try to incorporate to give this a specific look, and how did you achieve that final look, I guess is what I'm going for.
I guess the basic idea was to do something. I wanted to make Iron Sky sort of look like a film made out of a comic book, although it is not based on a comic book, but to have this kind of a little bit fantastic world, so where you can go. I wanted to do sort of a film noir approach when you're on the moon, and then like a really sort of colorful and heavy when you're on Earth, and wanted to sort of vibrant when you're on Earth and all that. So it's combination between classic science fiction TV like Galactica, for example, Star Wars, maybe even what's that one? The Sin City, obviously, and all the comic book movies, sort of that, and then something else also. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where the exact references come from, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it was quite clear from the beginning. I mean, the creative room was full of concept arts before the script was nowhere, and it was sort of like the visual style was there very, very early.
Yeah, and we kind of, once we managed to get that visual style in the artist's head, they really like, oh, okay, you mean this, you mean diesel punk. No worries, let's do it.
Yeah. And you had Udo Kier, who's like one of my favorite actors
really
in there
good,
too.
yeah.
I was like, the second I saw he was in that, I was like, man, this is just like it can't get it better
Yeah,
at this
I know.
point. So,
I know.
but like it's in terms of assembling all the actors to work on this. Did you ever have any trouble with them getting it, like understanding what you were going for? You know, was there any of that?
Not that much. I mean, we obviously had to talk with everybody, and
Right.
had to kind of convince that I'm not some freak. Well, I am, but I'm not like a weirdo. But I'm actually doing a film, and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I had to obviously convince them for that. But once they get to read the script and get to talk to me, they get more relaxed. And then I think I gave them quite a lot of room also in the set, because I had this problem, which is I don't speak German. And English is definitely not my first language either. So
You speak it very well, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But still, it's not well enough to be able to really, so to say, meddle with the dialogue.
Sure.
Especially if they want to have it like a natural dialogue. So I gave them that way freedom there. So I was really interested to see. I had a script, but also I gave them freedom to walk around a little bit that script and come up with the different approaches to it. And I think they liked the process quite a lot. The good thing about Iron Sky, everybody involved in Iron Sky, it was that they were so devoted in the process. I don't know how that was. It's just something special about the project which made it people really want to make it special.
It was because we had those problems during the production, and we had to couple of times we had to postpone the whole shooting, but all the cast and everybody stayed on the project.
Yeah.
I think
They believed in it.
they believed
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Even there was sort of question like, when do we do it? But yeah, they believed it.
And then also, if you could talk a little bit about your experience being here at South by Southwest and how people have been reacting to the film and everything. I mean, you know, obviously this is a great festival for these types of films. You know, like they really embrace films that are different and unusual, and this is very much in that. I mean, this is not a film that you would see Hollywood trying to make. You know, so like you guys have obviously brought something unique to us, and so maybe like talk a little bit about just being here and what that's been like for you.
Yeah, I think South by Southwest is, as you said, I think it's a perfect place for our film. Personally, I haven't been here before, but I heard a lot good about it, and it was also a good fit that we got the film here, and that we could do it before the release is coming now in the springtime, so all fitted. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Really happy to be here.
And it's really interesting to do a film about. I mean, obviously I operate a lot with people from Australia, from Germany, from Finland, Europe in general, but USA is always sort of, for us, the European filmmakers, it's always sort of the how do you say, like the place overseas, so hard to reach and hard to really understand and how to get. So I was really happy to see that Iron Sky also started to get a lot of interest also here in the States, and that's really good, because it's quite rare for a Finnish or I wouldn't say for European film. You know, Scandinavian films, they are not very well known in USA. Lately, though, there's been a couple of things, like Dead Snow was there, and then there was Rare Exports and a couple of other films, but it was good to be.
Well, again, I think that goes back to the fact that we just don't get this kind of stuff over here, like, because nobody has the balls to make a movie like this. And so when you bring something like this to us, of course we're going to embrace it, because it's different from what we see every single day.
True.
So, the last question I want to ask you was, where do you guys go from here? What's next for you? Are you going to some more film festivals? or is this, what's up next for you?
For Iron Sky, I mean, there's going to be a couple of festivals like Brussels Fantasy Film Festival and a couple of others, but it's also going to be released pretty soon. It's starting early April 4th in Finland and in Norway and a couple of other countries, and Germany in April 5th and UK in April 20, and there's a lot of releases in April, in May, and also I'm waiting the confirmed release date in States. We don't have it yet, but it's coming, so I hope it's somewhere.
Okay. And we'll make sure that you guys have all that information on the site as well. We'll post up links and everything like that. Last thing, could you say hi to my Finnish buddy Jarmo real quick? Hey Jarmo.
Morjesta Jarmo.
There you go.
Jarmo.
All right. Guys, thank you. Thank you for bringing this to the States. And thanks for being here. And I'm going to look for you guys tonight. Are you going to be at the screen?
Unfortunately, no.
No?
We have to
leave
fly back
today,
for the release tour in Europe. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure everybody understands how brilliant this is and how they should tell all their friends about it.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
Thank
Iron
you.
Sky, check it out. Thank
Thank
you. Guys.
you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
guys.
Pleasure to meet you. Hey everybody, I'm Mark Walters, and this is our second round of interviews for Iron Sky. I'm here with the very lovely Julia Dietze and Stephanie Paul. Now, I guess let's start by telling people about your roles in the film, what they can expect to see. This honestly is probably one of my most anticipated films this year. I mean, seriously, we posted about this like a month or so ago, and the reaction that we got from people was amazing. Like everybody's been talking about it. So, talk about your respective roles in the film and how you kind of got involved in this project. Yeah.
I just got involved with normal auditions, and then I had Recall in Finland. And yeah, my character, she's a moon Nazi who grew up in the second generation on the moon, never saw sunlight, never saw the earth.
Yeah.
And I had to be actually very pale, which was kind of hard because we shot in the summer in Australia, and I always do sunscreen and umbrella to stay that white. And yeah, she, for her paradox thing is that she's mixing up, for her, National Socialism is humanity. So she is actually giving a lot of very spiritual speeches. That's why also Stephanie is using me, because
President.
American president.
I don't use her personally, just the president.
Who just happens to look like Sarah Palin. Like,
Yeah.
we're not saying it's
No,
Sarah
no,
Palin.
no.
Just happens to look like Sarah
exactly.
Palin.
They basically said to me that they wanted me to be a president. They were going to dress me that way, but they didn't want me to play Sarah Palin. So I sort of studied Obama and Bush. And I think more Bush is in there than Palin.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other, But no, this seems like such a fun project to be involved with. I mean, like just one of those things that like every day you show up on the set, it's like, this is gonna be a good time.
Totally. Also for the speeches that I wrote, I looked up my rhetorical, is that the English word?
Mm-hmm.
Rhetorical heroes. So I looked up Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And actually, Martin Luther King, when he's giving the speech, I Have a Dream, he's making this movement in the end. So, but in this context, nobody thinks about National Socialism, of course not. So I added the movements from Malcolm X, like the Black Panther pose, and from Mahatma Gandhi for the spirits in it. So for the controversial.
Now I know you both did you both just now get in town? So were we your first interview or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
in last night and pretty much went straight. I got off the plane, threw my suitcase and got changed and went straight to the premiere. So.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. And how was that? How was that whole experience of being here at South by Southwest and having it premiere? And I mean, the audience,
It's amazing, but I was so astonished because the audience was so quiet. They literally received it like a classical concert. And in Berlin, everybody was cheering, laughing, standing up, screaming, sitting back down. It was like there was so much action in the audience,
Yeah.
and here it was so silent, and we were like, shit, they don't like it. In the end, but they really liked it afterwards.
Yeah.
They said, it's great, and so on. And we were like, yeah, but guys, you were so quiet. But
Well, I think it's because at this particular festival, this is an audience that really respects film. Like
Yeah.
they respect the art of making film.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat thing, But at the same time, I mean, I would think that this is like a great place to have a film like this, because one of the things we were just talking about a minute ago with the director and the producer was that in America, we don't get films like this. So when we do get something like this, we want to really embrace it and enjoy it for what it is.
But you have guys like Quentin Tarantino and Rodriguez, and
Yeah, but still, this is kind of daring. Like, I can't see a Hollywood production of something like
Yeah,
this.
I don't think Hollywood would have
Yeah.
created this film, actually. I think it took 2 fins and a sauna.
Yeah. They mentioned the sauna earlier. Yeah. So, and then was this shot primarily in Finland, or was it
No,
shot like all over the
Frankfurt,
place?
Australia, and it was all the CGI was done in Finland, but
Okay.
it was
yeah.
shot
Yeah.
in Frankfurt in Australia.
How was did you both go to the Berlin Film Festival?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how was that experience?
Fantastic.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Amazing.
Like we
Yeah.
had standing ovations. We were like, wow,
Yeah.
this is. It was really overwhelming, and then we were so surprised because suddenly, BBC and CNN were reporting about our movie and looking at it as a historical event that Germany is laughing about the history, and we wouldn't have thought it that it goes that way. You know,
Right.
we just made a crazy trashy film, so we were not planning on doing an historical event.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny. I've read some of the reviews. I stopped reading them, but some of the reviews took it quite seriously and wrote about it as if it was, you know, well, the storyline's this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, do you not get the joke?
Yeah.
So it's just a really fun, silly film with a lot of parody and a lot of jokes and a lot of, you know, big explosions. And it's fun. It's not meant to be like a serious storyline that goes somewhere, you know. It's just, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
go ahead.
mean, but we left all the anti-Semitism and the Jewish part out of it because we don't think that's funny. So
Right.
it doesn't belong into a comedy. And I think it's okay to make fun about Nazis.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that way you also take the power away from them. And also we are very political incorrect in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So everybody like get a slam, like North Korea, America, everyone. So I kind of like that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have more information for you guys about where you can see Iron Sky coming up. There's some more film festival stuff going on. And also, we're going to give away some of these very, very nice press books that these lovely ladies, as well as the director and producer, have signed. So be staying tuned for more information on that. And I just can't say thank you enough for bringing this to Texas, because I remember when I first heard about this film, I thought, I hope that we get a chance to see this, because I figured with it being kind of a foreign production, you never know.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you guys brought this here is just, it's such a cool thing. So.
Yeah, we are so astonished how many countries bought it.
Yeah, yeah.
Even Israel bought it. They think it's hilarious.
Oh, that's
This is like
great.
the biggest compliment for us.
Julia Dietze and Stephanie Paul, and thank you
Thank you.
very, very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.